Welcome to Land Strategy Live. Today we're on part 5 on how to apply Hermosi's ultimate sales training in the land investing business on the sell side. What did we discuss in the last 4 parts, Erica? You want
We
to do a
talked
quick
about
recap?
sales multipliers.
Sales multipliers. What does that mean?
So the key concepts that will really boost sales.
That will multiply sales, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
And pre-sales.
Pre-sales. What to do before sales?
Before the call.
Before the call.
Then opening the call.
Opening the call.
And then we've been on the closer framework, which is the framework for the call itself. We've gone through C, L, O, S, and we're now on O, how to handle objections, which is the meat of this.
The meat? I thought you were vegan.
The tofu of this.
The tofu of this. Okay. All right. So explain away their concerns. So we are on sell the vacation we did, right? So C is for clarify why they are there. L is for label their problems and goals. O is for overview of their past experiences, the pain cycle. And S is sell their vacation. And E is explain away their concerns, which is objection handling. So we did some, right?
We started this section.
So always we just did sales the back to front. Yeah. Okay. What about? Oh, So we're doing all-purpose closes today, right?
Well, we didn't cover the questions.
We didn't cover the questions author asked in response to objections.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So questions author asks in response to objections. So early knows. So I need to think about it. So usually author will say, well, what's your main concern? Let's talk about it together. So that would be his default answer. What's your main concern? Knows further on in the same, what are you afraid of? What do you think is going to happen? What's the big thing you're trying to avoid? This gets to the heart of the issue. What you hear as the answer is the real outcome which you can overcome, as opposed to I need to think about it. This is very simple yet very powerful, right? Because if you don't know what to say, if someone says, yeah, all right, I heard your pitch, I need to think about it. And because I need to think about it is essentially like a shield, like a, oh, Harpreet is here. It's essentially not a real objection. It's like it's like a wrapper, right? It's like a wrapper objection. But you need to unwrap.
Like you're not convinced and you're politely trying to get out of it.
You're trying to get out of it. So we need to unwrap. I need to think about it into what's your main concern? Let's talk about it together. Or what are you afraid of? What do you think is going to happen? What's the big thing you're trying to avoid? So this gets to the heart of the issue, and then you have a real objection that you can overcome, right? I should add this, right?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Because I don't think we have explicitly defined this scenario yet. Right? By the way, you need to get to the other ones we are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing is you have to tease out why they are stalling and how to make a decision. So what are the variables you are using to make that decision? What makes this a yes? If they can answer the question, you say, can I share with you some of the decision-making variables that I often hear when I ask that question? Right? So essentially, if someone is stalling, so that's what he calls a stall objection. For whatever reason, I need to think about it, or I'm not sure, this and that, right? You have to tease out, just like I said, it's a wrapper. You need to get inside and figure out what the main objection is. Maybe they're being polite, as you said. They don't want to reveal the real objection, that they don't have the money, or they don't have the time, or they don't have the motivation or whatever the real objection is. They don't want to reveal it. So one way is say, what are the variables you're using to make that decision? And then say, what makes it a yes? Right? Because then they'll say, oh, yeah, well, if the property had allowed RVs, then it would make it a yes.
Yeah.
Right? And for whatever reason, if they cannot answer that question, then you say, well, can I share with you some of the decision-making variables that I often hear when I ask that question, like just to nudge them. Well, some people don't like the fact that, you know, the you cannot build on the property or while being on owner financing. Right? Is that the main concern? Are you looking to build right away? Right? So you can tease out of them. And then the other way to ask is, what makes this a no? People are afraid to ask what it will get someone to not buy, but you have had this conversation more times than they did. Right? Just ask them what makes this a no. And they'll be like, well, it doesn't have access to water.
Yeah. It might be helpful to think this through in like a concrete objection. Like, I just think it's overpriced. Which is a common
then it's a price objection, and then you learn how to handle price objection. But someone saying, I need to think about it, is a wrapper. It's not a real objection. And you cannot overcome a wrapper objection. Well, like, what are you going to say?
Well, even saying, I think it's overpriced could be, it might not be getting at the heart of what's...
No.
You know, that's why you could ask, well, what made you...
No, you're jumping, Erica.
Okay.
We'll cover that. We'll cover price objections.
Okay.
Right? So price objection is a valid objection. But I need to think about it is not a valid objection. Right? It's basically a stall. Right? You hopped on the call. Clearly you wanted to buy land. You've been on the call with me for 30 minutes. And now you're saying I need to think about it. So at least, you know, tell me what the real reason is instead of stalling. Right? But how do you get the real reason without pissing someone off? This is how you do it, right? So first you say, what are you afraid of? Like, what's your main concern? And if they still don't tell you, then you can use, what are the variables you're using to make that decision? What makes this a yes? So these are all ideas we can use. You know, we can pick one. What makes this a no? Like, what makes this a no? And they'll be like, well, okay. Right, so these are the other options we can use. So I'll add it to the list of like how to handle. Yeah? All right. So now what happens after they give this answer? Right? So like, how do you, when they answer, you question them on an objection, right? And they answer. How do you handle that, right? So that's where we use the 3 A's, right? This is what we was talking about. He did a video on this separately, but here he talks about what those 3 A's are briefly. So the first A is acknowledge. Second A is associate. And the third A is ask again. Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
So acknowledge, then associate. Believe it or not, you are a totally normal person, because anyone who will be willing to make a decision like this really fast would be crazy. We wouldn't want to work with them. But it also sounds to me you're just nervous about making a decision, which makes it sound like all the people who end up buying and getting amazing results. Yeah? So you acknowledge, first you acknowledge, right? That I understand what you're saying, you know, and, you know, it's totally normal. We won't want to work with someone who did not have some hesitation or you know, didn't sound a little bit nervous, you know. But that also is like, you know, pretty much everyone is who ends up doing this program or buying this land, you know, they get amazing results. They get excited, they buy it, and they're happy about it. Yeah. So acknowledge, associate, ask again. Okay. So you associated there what was once I need to think about it to I don't know what makes this a no.
I'm sorry.
So you associated there what was once I need to think about it to I don't know what makes this a no, which you circumvent by saying it sounds like you're just afraid of making the decision, makes you just like other people who get amazing results because it shows you care. If you care, you're going to follow through and do amazing. If you don't care, this is going to be awful. So it's actually better that you have this fear. So after the association, you ask for the sale again. All right, ready to go? Let's do this. Yeah? So we need to come up with the acknowledge, associate, and ask again version of our scenario. So this was like a gym scenario. People are like, oh, I know this. I understand your offer. It's a 6-week challenge or a 3-month challenge. You know, I just need to think about it whether I'm ready to commit, right? And then the author will ask, well, so what's the main concern? You know, and they might beat around the bush. And then he says, all right, so what makes this a yes? They might beat around the bush. And then you ask, okay, so what makes it a no? And then say, well, I just don't think I have enough time, right? Then it's a time objection, which we'll cover later. Or if they just hesitate, then you just do the AAA and say, well, I understand you're hesitating. You know, it's common. You know, it's a commitment. So it's everyone. There needs to be some level of hesitation, which makes you normal, right? Which means you care. You know, you want to do good, and that means that you will pretty much following what other successful people go through. Feel a little bit of hesitation and nervousness, then you take the jump, and then you do well, and then you get amazing results. So you're matching that pattern. Right? So we need to come up with this version, something similar for when people say, I need to think about it on the land side. Make sense, Erica? Yeah?
Yeah.
So it'll be something similar. If someone says, I need to think about it. Well, I think we will get them when they say, what's your main concern? And then say, what makes this a no? I think at that point, we will have the real answer. Okay. All right. So that was, by the way, him going on a tangent. So he was not going sequentially. He just started talking about this scenario. But we're covering this in more detail now. Okay. All-purpose clauses. So you have to know price overcomes, stall overcomes, decision maker overcomes, preference overcomes. Right? So those are the 4 main categories of overcomes that you will have to do, right? Or objection handling, which is pretty much common in all industries. Pretty much anything you're selling, you're going to find those 4 kinds of objections. Price overcomes, or your thing is too expensive. Or stall overcomes, oh, I need to think about it, or give me some time, right? Or decision maker overcomes will be like, well, I need to check with my wife, I need to check with my dad. Pretty much heard all of them. I mean, on the HWB side, I've done like maybe 15 sales calls, and I've pretty much heard all of them.
Yeah.
And preference overcomes. Oh, I don't like this way, or I don't like this particular feature. Can we do it this way? Kind of way. Yeah?
Yeah.
So those are the high level categories. Okay. So all purpose clauses work in pretty much all the scenarios. That's the point of all purpose clauses, right? So there you could, ideally you want to handle it. Every specific objection type has a specific way of handling it, right? but then they're all-purpose clauses. Like if you can't remember or whatever, if you just know the all-purpose clauses, you can use it on any scenario. Okay. So let's look at some examples so it makes it clear. Do you think the reason you're on the phone today is because you have struggled to make this decision in the past? Like think of it from a gym perspective, right? Someone is like,
that definitely works really well for the gym scenario.
yeah,
I think we would have to be
it's not going to
careful.
work. No, it's not going to work in that.
yeah.
I mean, we can look at an equivalent one, right? But this is just, from a gym perspective, like this is the all-purpose clauses he used, and we're gonna like come up with variations and variants in the land investing space.
I mean, I could see there are like a small handful of leads I think that would work on, like people who definitely like the people who reach out multiple times and can't make a decision.
Yeah. So someone says, I think it's a lot of money. And your response, do you think the fact that you haven't invested in the past is the reason you're not successful? Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, these are just examples, so we can tweak them. Next one, I need to talk to my spouse. Response, do you think the reason that you haven't been successful so far is because you have needed to talk to your spouse for all these things? You have always needed to get permission?
I mean, that doesn't work for land because
That's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they say. You have to take their objection and say, do you think that's the reason why you haven't succeeded? That's what he's doing essentially. If someone says, well, it's too pricey, you say, well, is that the reason you haven't been successful? Because you think.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's going to work with land. I think it works.
If someone, there have been scenarios where people are like, oh yeah, I've been looking for lands for like 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I could see some unique cases, but
yeah, or we could say something like, well, the reason you have been in the market for so long is because you keep thinking the prices will come down, but they actually go up.
yeah.
And that's the reason why you haven't been able to buy anything.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, so variations like that, we can ask ChatGPT to brainstorm it. But I just want to make sure you understand the concept behind all-purpose clauses and what he's trying to do. He's basically using whatever you're saying as a reason why they haven't been successful. And we're just asking the question. You're just like, it's more like a tease, right? As opposed to like, and you have to ask, once again, the tone you're using, it's more of a curiosity. Is this really maybe the reason why you haven't been successful? Right? Like genuine childlike curiosity.
Yeah, I guess I feel like on a lot of leads, the idea that they haven't been successful yet is not necessarily going to work because a lot of leads haven't been looking for land for a long time.
How do you know?
Some of them, yeah, but
okay. This is just one of the examples, right? Okay. So here's the second one. 1 to 10 close. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being let's do this and 1 being I never want to talk to you again. Where are we at on a scale of 1 to 10? Right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what they answer. Just reply, what would make it a 10? Right? Another version would be like, what would it take? So if they say 6, you can say, why not 1? They'll say some nice things and then you say, great. So what would make it a 10? This is good, right?
Yeah, that's
like
a good one. Yeah.
If they say 1 or 2 things, you reply, oh, I must have done a poor job communicating them. We'll totally take care of that for you. Sometimes they bring up features they specifically wanted or some element that you can reframe your existing stack so you can satisfy that problem. Then ask, are we feeling 10-ish? Awesome. Let's get going. I really like that one.
Yeah.
1 to 10
That's
close.
a good one.
Okay. I think this would work.
Yeah.
All right. I will add it to the all-purpose closes. So these are all-purpose closes. So we're going to look at all-purpose closes first, and then we're going to look at more specific. So this is the kind of stuff I was talking about. You know, it's like mind-blowing, right? Because we could just use them right outside the box, starting now. Right? Because even the setter sometimes the setters have objections, even they can ask, because we're just asking questions, right?
Yeah.
We're just saying, all right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, how close are you in making that decision, right? All right, so this is details are death traps. This is an interesting, very interesting section because I had no idea. Like I had a recent sales call where the guy was getting into detail and I was like, you know, I don't think it's relevant. It's just gonna confuse you even more. And I got out of details and went back into the sales. And if I did not know this, I would have just kept on going in more and more details because I didn't know before.
Can you make that concrete? What was the actual?
I cannot make that concrete.
Okay. All right.
For very obvious reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, you will see why it's very powerful. I mean, you will see that you don't want to get into detail, especially when you're talking about a scenario or you're selling something where the outcome is dependent on them working hard
Yeah.
or them
I
putting
can see
in
that.
effort.
Yeah.
Because then if you keep on going into details and they'll be like, well, what about this? Or how would I handle this? Or how will I handle this? And it's like, dude, you haven't even started and you're asking questions 10 levels deep, which you're like overthinking. You're not even going to get there. Like, how do we sell properties on Facebook Marketplace? It was like, dude, we haven't even bought a property. Like, let's just focus on step one.
I think we do have to, in the context of selling land, though, you do have to be a little bit careful because you still need to answer people's questions about the property itself.
Right.
That's
Of course. Yeah. But the details, yeah, we need to tweak it. We need to tweak it into what kind of details are they asking? Because certain details about the property, of course, you have to provide. But it needs to be a balance. Because then they'll be like, oh, well, does it allow mobile homes? You say, yeah, of course, R2 zoning allows mobile homes. Well, what kind of mobile homes does it allow? Can I have like a multi-story mobile home? I was like, I don't know. Like instead of saying that,
Is that a real?
No, I'm just making it up on the fly, right? Right, and then you be like, well, is that important? Like, I thought the goal was to, make you rent free, right? If and then you pull yourself out. But anyways, let's look into this because this goes into very specific tactics. Okay, so the reason the deals are lost in details is because you don't get to pick whether your answers are correct or not. Right? That's the main problem. Because think about it, this is your salesperson, right? If you have a bigger company where like 10 salespeople, right? And right now our salesperson is also on the acquisition side, so that person knows pretty much all the answers. But if you have if you're like selling like thousands of pieces of land every year, right? You have 10 different salespeople. They're not going to know everything about the property, right? Every minor thing. Oh, what can you do this in this R2? They might say, oh yeah, you can allow mobile homes, but they don't know what kind of mobile home. They don't know whether it needs to, the foundation needs to be this, what kind of foundation, what kind of safety grading the windows need to have, like all those minute details the salesperson won't know. And you, if the salesperson tries to answer all those questions, they won't know, they might give the wrong answer. So they should like avoid and stick to the script, because you're going away from the script when you're answering detailed questions, right? Okay, because it's not like the worst thing. Like if they cannot have their windows that they wanted, or if they cannot have the specific model of mobile home they wanted, it doesn't mean that they cannot come up with an alternative plan, right? It's still land. It's still, it's still housing, right? Okay. So you're rolling the dice on whatever you say is the right answer, which you never want to do as a salesperson, right? Because you're essentially going off. I think of it as like snowboarding, right? You go snowboarding, right? You have all these, you to a ski resort, right? You have all these trails nicely leveled, right? With like the snow machines and everything, and you just go down, have a good time, right? But then your friend is like, oh, I'm gonna go off piste or off trail, right? Within the trees and stuff. And I was like,
And that's what some people enjoy.
right, but it's an unknown, right?
Yeah.
You're increasing the risk that you might get injured, you might run into something, you might meet a snow mountain lion or whatever.
The abominable snowman.
Huh? What?
The abominable snowman.
Is that like a made up thing, like the
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot? Huh?
Yeah.
Or is it Bigfoot?
It's very similar,
But in the snow
but in the
context?
snow.
Oh, did I tell you, like when I was really into snowboarding, I was like, oh, do they have snowboarding in India? And apparently they have snowboarding in the Himalayas. And but they don't have like lifts or anything. They don't have like ski lifts, or they might have like limited ski lifts, but they don't have like any ski patrol or anything. So I looked at this website, which was like, yes, we have limited ski slopes that go up. However, for you to be able to ski or snowboard here, you have to sign a waiver. And one of the conditions of the waiver is that you must be able to outrun a snow lion. And I'm not making this
You're
up.
not making up. Can anyone outrun a snow leopard
On a
on a snowboard?
on a snowboard, yeah. Why
yeah.
not?
Okay.
There's so many stories I haven't told you, and then
Yeah,
they come out in these lives.
Yeah. When did you look this up?
When I started snowboarding,
Yeah.
it was like 2000, maybe 10ish, 2010ish.
You want to go to the Himalayas
No, I don't think I can outrun a snow leopard.
on a snowboard?
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. I don't go that fast. Yeah, so the point is, do not go off the trail, because then the risk is increased that you might lose the sale. How's that? You're not gonna forget it now, will you? You're not gonna forget this rule. Do not go into details on a sales call.
Unless you can outrun a snow leopard.
Yeah. Okay. I do come up with good analogies sometimes.
Yeah, it's some.
Memorable, right?
Yeah.
Memorable analogies. All right. When someone asks a question about a ask a question about their question. So how many days are you open? Well, how many days are you looking for? Or he's like, oh, what kind of certifications do you have? And then, well, what kind of certifications are you looking for? So that's one way you can ask a question about the question. Then based on their answer, you can hedge or frame your answer in a way that increases the likelihood that you close. It's like lawyers, when cross-examining someone on the stand, they never ask questions they already don't know the answers to. So as a salesperson, never ask questions you don't already know the answers to.
Wait, never ask or never answer questions?
Or never answer questions you don't really know the answers to. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
If somebody really presses hard on something, this is where you appeal to the authority of the business rather than yourself. Hey, totally fair question, but it's kind of like asking the secretary at the heart surgeon's place, what's wrong with your heart, without having seen the heart surgeon yet. So this is like a salesperson who they haven't talked to the expert, right? So they're like, well, I don't know. But without saying, I don't know, you say, well, you use an analogy, right? So they understand, as opposed to having their defense mechanism get kicked in. Yeah? So what are you thinking so far? Should we incorporate somehow?
We can. The tricky thing is a lot of the questions that people ask will be property specific, right? So
yeah, let's see what ChatGPT says when you do the brainstorm.
but I guess we could still use
brainstorm.
it,
Let's
like-
see. I mean, we'll see. Just like 1 to 10 close we can use.
Yeah, that we can definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Like if someone says, can I park my RV on the lot?
Okay. What about it?
How you wouldn't really be able to use this, would you?
No, we'll tell the answer.
Yeah.
You only don't answer when you don't know the answer.
Well, I think the high level concept here is it's not that you don't know the answer, it's you don't know what the right answer is for the prospect, right? So you want to make sure you're only answering things
That
in a
you're
posi-
100% sure.
No, that will have a positive reception, right? Like if someone asks, how many days are you open? Obviously, you know the answer to that question. But you don't know what the right answer, the answer is that the lead's looking for, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, how many days are you open? But if you know the answer, you just tell them. What's the problem?
I know, well, he's saying don't do that.
Oh, because they might make an objection out of it.
Yeah.
They might say, oh, you're not open on Sundays?
Yeah.
That's when I...
Yeah. That's why he's
So
saying
how-
ask how many days are you looking for first.
I see. What
And
if
I
they
think
say,
the idea of being, yeah.
no,
that's
what if
not-
they say, I'm only looking for Sundays?
So yeah, it doesn't get into the details of like what happens if, say, so using this example, they ask how many days are you open and you happen to not be open Sunday. And then you say, well, how many days were you looking for? And they say, I really just want Sunday. I mean, that scenario seems to, I would assume that in that scenario, then he would try to hedge, say like, well, what's so important about Sunday? Are there, and then try to get at, well, would you be willing to change your day preference if you knew that we were the only gym that offered X, Y, and Z, and you knew that those would guarantee that you were successful, right?
Okay. Yeah, I think it might be covered soon as well. So
Yeah.
let's not overthink it. Okay. So the mechanic close. I totally get this is super important, but I can't ethically answer your question right now because we haven't brought your car in the shop yet. It's like you asking a mechanic, what's wrong with my car before you brought it in. We got to look under the hood before we can tell you what's going on. So here's an example. What kind of diet would you be giving me? You do the mechanic close. Then say, if anyone else gives you an answer before looking at the stuff, run the other way, because they're trying to sell you stuff and they're not trying to help. Maybe if someone tells you anything other than contact the county to a specific question of what to, oh, this is my notes. I was thinking we can use that. Like if someone says, oh, can I put a double story mobile home on this lot? And our
Is there,
answer,
I don't think there's such a thing as a double story mobile.
dude, that's
Okay.
exactly the point.
Okay.
That's exactly the point,
Okay.
right? Because what if there is and you don't know? We don't know, right? For sure. Can you be 100% certain you cannot have 2-story mobile home?
I don't think I'm ever 100% certain of anything. But no, I'm not 100% certain.
What do you mean? Are you a girl? You're not 100% certain of that? What do you mean you're not 100% certain of something?
I don't know. Maybe in an alternate universe, I'm
Oh
not.
my God. All right. We have lost control of this live show. All right. Okay. So, yeah, if someone says, well, can I put a double story mobile home on this lot? And then you say, well, that's a very good question. And I think it's, that's the best question to ask the county. And I say, well, how come you don't know? And stuff like that. And then you say, well, if anyone else gives you an answer other than the contact the county, I would run the other way, because they're just trying to sell you stuff without really trying to help you, because county is the ultimate authority of what's allowed on your property. And if I tell you the wrong information, like it's like asking the secretary at a heart surgeon whether you need an operation or not, right? You haven't seen the surgeon yet. You got to talk to the county planner to figure out if it's allowed or not, right? I think that's good.
Yeah.
We should add it.
Okay.
And this also gives you the moral high ground to get out of the details, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me add this. I mean, we could use it as is, I think. Maybe.
I
No?
think it needs some tweaking, but yeah, for the most
But the
part.
concept,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Just going back, I'm wondering if on this section, you know how if someone says, I want to live on the property during the loan term, we pretty much just write off the lead, say they're unqualified. I wonder if there's some instances where if we dug a little bit deeper, someone would.
Dude, they themselves just say, well, I have no other place to go.
I mean, yeah, there are obviously many scenarios where that we're just not the right fit, but there may be some people who are saying, I want to live on the property right away. But then when you dig in a little further, what they actually mean is they want to start construction soon, or, they're thinking that they'll be able to build a home in a month or two,
Month or two, and then they'll ask for $1 down and $1.99 per month. It'll be a 10-year loan, and they want to start building in a month. Right. Oh, by the way, recently a lead reached out to us and they said, I want to buy this property. And so Ro picked up the call and she was like, did the qualification question. So, she's like, oh, so the, you do realize, oh, they said, well, you want to buy cash or owner financing. She said, well, yeah, owner financing. I have like 2 kids, my lease is ending and I don't want to live in the apartment anymore. So I'm going to be living in an RV and construct my house at the same time. Right. So, and then we said, well, we don't really allow construction while on owner financing. Sorry about that. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that won't work out. So then she goes to another company. This is like a big name company, our competitor, without naming names, right? And she does the online checkout because they allow living on the property, but does the online checkout, and then she calls the county just to confirm that she'll be moving there, and the county, or basically, I don't know how, but she got hold of the sheriff, and the sheriff called her and saying, well, there are 5 families already living there illegally on that land, and unfortunately you have been scammed. So the reason we know this is because she accidentally left a voicemail to Roe saying that I can't believe you scammed me, you sold me the property.
Oh, I remember that voicemail. Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, I can't believe you scammed me. There are like 5 families living there and tents illegally. Right? And so I'm guessing that was like a land, it was subdivided, and then they sold the parcel, and then say there's no zoning, you can live on it if you want during owner financing, because that's how they sell very fast, right? And they're like, well, we'll deal with the consequences, or no one would care. I don't know what the risk profile is. I don't know what they're doing.
What okay. But
But anyways,
the point?
the point is, the point is that if it's not a good fit, we shouldn't try to
No, that I understand. I think I'm getting at more like what Harpreet is mentioning here is some people might say, I want to live on the property during owner financing. And then if you dug a little bit deeper, you see what they really mean is they're thinking in 6 months or a year or whatever. And then you could say, all right, well, if it's not an absolute necessity for you to live on the property right this second, you can always pay off early. When you're going to
we already
construct,
have that. We already have that. Say you can take a short-term loan, or you can get outside financing, and then they say, well, I don't know how to get outside financing, or I don't have the credit score or whatever. But that's like the qualification process, right? So this is like a qualified lead who's getting into details, right? I think we should make the distinction clear. If the lead is unqualified, they shouldn't get to the stage of closing.
That's true.
Right.
This was just a point I was wondering if our qualification question was too like hard and fast, whether we needed like too rigid.
I think it's also a risk mitigation perspective, because if someone openly is telling you they want to live on the property, and clearly they don't have other place, right?
Well, no, I know. In that scenario, yeah.
No, but then even if they're like, oh, my lease is ending in 6 months, so I won't move there in 6 months, but I would pay it off. And so what happens if they don't pay it off in 6 months and their lease also ends, and then they move in, and you're like, dude, we already told you not to move in. And it's like, dude, but I already told you that my lease is ending in 6 months. So what are you going to say then?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just saying there are going to be some leads where maybe it's, but
yeah, I think it should be clear that some things are black and white, right? The lines we are drawing, and we're drawing a line that you cannot live on the property.
No, that I understand. Financing. I'm not saying we should that we should soften that stance. I'm just saying there might be some leads who are initially saying, I want to live on the property during the loan term, but that's not really.
Yeah, I mean, we can improve, we can just clarify, that, but yeah. Okay. So what is the purpose of the all-purpose clauses? The high-level purpose is to zoom out, because people get lost in the details. I mean, it's for the prospect's benefit itself, right? Especially like, oh, what kind of, if they're signing up for gym membership, like, well, what kind of diet will you propose me? Well, I don't eat fish, so what can I do? In that? Like, dude. You haven't even did one workout yet. You're worried about that we're gonna propose you fish, and you don't eat fish. Like, dude, let's stay focused, right? I think that's the intention, right? Let's zoom out. Like, the purpose is for you to. Oh, actually, I have another example. So yeah, the purpose is for you to lose weight, not whether we're gonna put fish in your diet or not, right? Harpreet is saying, I agree, this strong line, they can live, or they usually play emotional angle to convince us. Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. So Yeah, I think it was Anoop I was talking to recently. There another person who recently joined, and he was saying, well, I want to make sure I create an LLC in Wyoming because there
Oh
are
yeah,
privacy
I remember
laws.
you telling me.
And
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you are trying to keep your LLC private. Your revenue is $0. Like you literally, like, why don't we focus on what the purpose of the thing is, right? Of the program. The purpose of the program is to make you money, right? Like make you revenue. Let's make some revenue, and then you can, roll over in a new LLC when you actually have money to do fancy plays like this, right? Just like you thinking about like, well, I don't want to pay too much in taxes. I like, oh my god. Like what are the tax deferred strategies we can use in land investing? I was like, dude, tax deferred strategies apply when you have money coming in. You have $0 coming. Why don't we just first focus? That's a very good problem to have. I'm paying too much in taxes. That means you're making crap load of money, right? So let's get to that problem first, right? So, that, and it's not like just Anoop. It's like everyone, pretty much everyone, starts getting into details, and it's the job of a good salesperson to save them from themselves, kind of thing, right? So I think it can apply in land sales where the person is getting into the wrong details. If they're asking about okay, how big the property is and how what are the restrictions on the property itself in relation to what I want to do. Those are good details, and we should know the answers, and we should also caveat it by saying check with the county. But if they're going in the wrong kind of details, well, what if I pay within 9 months? Will I get an extra? Can I get an extra 1% discount or something like on the cashback? I was like, dude, you haven't even made one payment yet. Like, let's make you a landowner first, right? Let's get you ownership, and then we can, So obviously, you're not gonna say it like that because then they might get pissed off. So you have to handle it like, like get into why they're asking these questions. Why is that important to them, right? So we looked at the mechanic clause. You could do the mechanic clause by saying, well, this is something the county would know the answer to, right? Or if it's related to you, you can do ask a question about the question, like why that's important, right? That's what he said in the beginning, right? The cross-examining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prospect try to find something to nitpick, and the sale dies in the details because it's not your expertise and they get to tell you what's right. So you want to avoid both of those things, right? Because like if they are putting mobile home, assuming they have experience doing mobile homes in the past, that's not your expertise. So you're not going to tell them that they're not right. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they get to tell you what's right. So you want to avoid both of those things. Sometimes you have to pause the sales. Say, before we get deeper into this, fundamentally, you want this outcome. We sell this outcome. What's getting in the way here? Right? All right. Should we keep going? How much time do we have? A detail obstacle is a preference obstacle. Or do you think we should stop here? Yes?
Yeah. This might be
okay,
a good
because
place.
there's stuff we have to, let's implement this as well. Yeah, there's a stuff that we have a lot of stuff in the pipeline that we need to, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you want to do the CTA? Let's get to the CTA, Erica. What's the CTA?
All right. So we do have a mastermind where I'll try to implement this theory. As you can see, it's a lot of stuff, and it takes a while. The implementation is
Execution.
the execution can be the hardest part. But that's why we put together a mastermind, so that you have someone to help you execute. So with the mastermind, you get accountability, make sure that you're on track. You get, accessibility?
Accountability, availability,
Yes.
Discord group, and access to action-oriented community.
Yep.
Yeah. So check it out if you're interested. honestwellbuilders.com. We'll see you guys on maybe Monday or Tuesday. Today is Sunday, right?
Yeah, maybe
So
Tuesday.
Maybe Tuesday. So we have one day to
Yeah.
implement some stuff. All right, guys. See you.